Coming up,
I know we're in your space, but we're looking for gators.
we're cruising through the Everglades to learn more about what was here before we were. Do you like pickles? Sauerkraut? Kimchi? Good. They can be great for you, and we'll go over the difference between pickled and fermented foods. Chelsea from Mirando Farms tells us which veggies are in season right now. Personal trainer Morgan Shapiro shows us a boot camp style workout you can set up anywhere, and percussive therapy tips in case you bought one of these. All of that and more is today on SoFlo Health.
Hello and welcome to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Franqui, and we're clearly in the Everglades. I'm on an airboat right now, and I'll tell you where you can experience this on your own private tour. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about today's show. We're going to see some animals. We're going to learn about our natural environment that's in our own backyard that we forget is even here sometimes. And of course, we're going for an airboat ride. But before I tell you all about that and show you where you can go and experience it for yourself, you got to watch this. I'm with Chelsea at Mirando Farms, and lucky for all of us, veggies and fruits are all in season. Well, lots of Florida fruits and veggies are in season, right?
Correct.
What are some of those fruits and veggies?
Oh my gosh, well, we've got sweet potatoes and peppers, and you've got all kinds of squashes, zucchini and cucumbers. And if you're into pickling, we even have little pickles that you can grow. And don't be afraid if your fruits and veggies are kind of funny looking. It just makes it all the more interesting.
And these all just became in season recently?
Yep, starting mid-November, early December is when all of our Florida farms are up and running.
And how long do we have to enjoy this fresh local goodness?
Probably about the 4th of July.
Okay.
Is when we'll be pretty cleaned out.
And that's still a pretty long time.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
We're really fortunate. We get to grow 9 months out of the year, where most people in northern states can grow about 3-4 months out of the year.
Oh, wow. I did not know it was that big of a difference.
Yeah, we're the opposite of the rest of the world.
Lucky us. Just
Lucky
another
us.
reason to be here instead of there. And what else do you have?
So we've got cabbages that were just harvested, and you even still have a little bit left of the Florida avocado season, which is always fun. Beets and carrots, tomatoes, and corn. Corn is always a family favorite. And right now they're still a little bit small because they're just coming into season. But they'll get bigger as the season goes on. You'll notice it in your grocery store.
Wow, look at that.
I know, right? Super yum.
So the season started around November, December, and then I guess we hit peak season March-ish. Does that make sense?
Right now.
Right now?
I mean, January is peak season. You're going to find most everything that Florida growers grow is being harvested as we speak.
And are these from Mirando Farms? Are they from local farms and Mirando?
So, right, Mirando and local farms, we work together. We work with about 25 different farms in the state of Florida.
Last time we were here, you showed us the eggs that you have to offer, and this is something that's available year-round.
Absolutely, yeah. So all of our eggs are pasture raised and they're corn and soy free. And as you can see, we've got so many different varieties. We've got about 400 to 600 chickens out there, and
Why are they different colors?
different breeds of chicken.
But that's fun. You've got brown ones, white ones, little tan ones. This one's like greenish, bluish. It's cool. And those goose eggs?
These are goose eggs.
I've never had a goose
So
egg.
compared to a big chicken egg, you can see the difference. Sure do make those cakes and brownies fluffy.
Wow, I bet. Well, that's great.
One egg omelet.
And we've talked about this many times before, but just to remind our viewers, it's good to shop locally, go to your local farmers markets, not just for your health, but to support local business, and it's better for their carbon footprint, correct?
Correct.
And if people want to follow along and learn more about you, how can they?
They can follow us at Mirando Ranch.
Great. Well, Chelsea, thank you so much. I think I'm gonna go egg shopping.
All right. Up us up.
What do you think? Oh, broke an egg. I broke an egg. I'm out here with Tim.
How's it going?
Tim, where are we?
We're in the middle of the Everglades.
It's kind of far.
Yeah.
It just goes and goes and goes. But
does.
we're out here because we came to visit Sawgrass Recreation Park.
Yes.
Which you run.
Yes.
And you're a swamp technician, you told me.
Yeah, something like that.
And what does that mean? What do you do here at Sawgrass Recreation Park?
So Sawgrass Recreation Park, we're basically an eco-tourist attraction where we take guests from around the world and our own backyard. And we take them out on the large airboats, and we go out into the Everglades, gliding through the grasses and then over the water to try to find wildlife and also give them a little bit of a lesson in the ecology and the history of the Everglades. Also at our actual facility, we have a small animal kind of rescue sanctuary, if you will, where we have multiple species of alligators, crocodiles, pythons, former pets, reptiles, things like that we've taken in over the years, given them a second chance of life, but also be used as an educational tool about, you know, proper pet ownership and responsibility when it comes to owning or taking care of animals, but also just about the local flora and fauna as well.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful thing for people to be able to come out here and learn, because like you said, a lot of people live here and don't even realize that we're right next to this.
Well, what's amazing to me is to find out when you look at like a map of Broward County or even Miami-Dade County, it's only 1/3 of the actual county that's occupied by us, and the rest of it is basically the Everglades and swamp and marsh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're a very small sliver of our county. The rest of it looks just like what's around us right now.
Right. It's very similar to the ocean in that sense, where it looks like, okay, just big a body of water.
Yeah, exactly.
Here it's like, okay, some sawgrass.
Meanwhile, there's all kinds of
this
things
is sawgrass,
eating.
Isn't it?
Yes, partially. This is cattail, and then it mixed in there. You can see out in front of us there.
Oh, that's sawgrass.
That's
there
the
for
sawgrass there, right?
That's the stuff when you pass by, you're like, ah.
It's gonna scratch you up a little bit. Yeah, sawgrass is not just a clever name.
Yeah.
We'll learn more about the Everglades in part 2 of our chat with Tim. And coming up, if Hunter Franqui picked a peck of fermented foods and pickled pickles, what are the differences between them? Find out when SoFlo Health returns.
Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Franqui, and we're out airboating. Now, clearly, they're taking off because they stopped to see what we're hoping to see, and that is an alligator. Here's a fun fact. Alligators are only native to the southeast part of Florida, where we are here, and China. So something we have in common. Different gators, I know, don't fact check me on that one. Either way, we're still on the hunt to go find a gator and appreciate the wildlife out here at Sawgrass Recreation Park in the Everglades. We'll get back to it.
It's early on in the year, and maybe you're not ready to get back to the gym and go into a serious workout routine, spend an hour and a half. So why not get outdoors, grab whatever equipment you may have around the house, or maybe you're not like me and you don't have a lot of workout equipment around the house. Just grab whatever things you can lift and put back down, take it outdoors, and let's set up a little impromptu boot camp. So for today's workout, we're going to be working for time. We're going to set the timer 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. We're going to do each exercise for 30 seconds, resting 30 seconds in between, grabbing a sip of water, and moving to the next station. So I'm going to go through and show you each exercise and how to properly execute it. First, we have our battle ropes. You're gonna have your elbows tight by your side. We are moving the ropes up in a little snake formation. The faster, the harder. We can double time it, heart rate's up, feeling good. Then we move over to our ladders. Here we are going to do a little bit of a hopscotch squat move, in and out, trying to squat deep, keeping that chest lifted, knees out, good form always. Then we are moving to our ball slams. We are going to pick up our weighted ball up overhead, slam into the ground, picking it up in a nice deep squat again, up and slam. Fourth exercise, we are doing a 180 jump squat. We are squatting down, jumping up, and squatting again, side to side. And then I would like to have a fifth exercise, but to be honest, I really can't think of anything. So maybe my workout partner, Hunter, has an idea. What do you got for me, Hunter?
It's finally time for me to get some revenge, and we're gonna add burpees to this whole thing.
I regret this.
People love burpees.
Ready? 30 seconds on the clock, and go. Deep squat when you pick it up, thank you.
Okay, that was the first set.
Round 1.
Now you just do that 6 more times.
5 more times.
Or 4.
Yeah.
3?
2.
2.
2.
1?
2.
None. Quick, look. Not exactly a gator, but a soft-shelled turtle. What's up, fam? How you doing? I know we're in your space, but we're looking for gators. Well, we appreciate you stopping by. There's more SoFlo health to see. Tell them. Pickling and fermenting are two of the oldest known forms of food preservation, and although there is some overlap between the two, they are each independent of one another, but they're both independently awesome, and they can both be good for your health, and we're going to talk about why. We'll start with pickling. Pickling is loosely defined as using an acidic brine to preserve food. This process changes the taste of food, usually making it more sour. Sourer? Delicious. Pickling has been around for about 4,000 years. Fermentation is also quite a simple process that has an origin story even older than pickling. Some studies of fermentation find evidence of the process as far as 9,000 years ago. There are two types of fermentation: alcoholic, used to make bread and beer, and despite describing somebody who is drunk as pickled, has nothing to do with pickling. And lactic acid fermentation, which is used to make foods like kimchi or sauerkraut. Fermentation encourages probiotics to thrive, and eating fermented food is associated with a healthy gut. So are pickles pickled or fermented? Today's pickles are usually pickled cucumbers, but you knew they were cucumbers, didn't you? As if it wasn't confusing enough, they're usually pickled in a brine that has been fermented, usually vinegar. You're unlikely to find fermented pickles in the grocery store, but we did, and some people think that fermented pickles are better than pickled pickles. I'm one of those people. So, what's the difference between pickling and fermenting? Pickling is the process of adding food to an already sour brine of some sort. Fermenting is the food creating the sour flavor with live cultures. Another difference is you can pickle at home easily. You can also make fermented foods at home, but the process is a little more involved. Regardless, there are countless tutorials online and in books to get you started, if you'd like. One last thing, pickled and fermented foods can be good for your gut and for your overall health. However, you must be careful if you're not used to eating fermented or pickled foods, because that extra gut bacteria can come back to bite you. In the meantime, I'm going to enjoy this kraut on this dog. Let's go kraut.
A real deal alligator and percussive therapy tips are moments away right here on SoFlo Health.
Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Franqui, and we are still looking for a gator at Sawgrass Recreation Park out in the Everglades. Haven't seen one yet, but we did find a friendly turtle, so we're gonna head back to the dry land and show you what else they have in store. Tim, what's your favorite part about being out here? What would you want people to know that haven't been out here before?
Throughout the seasons, the water level's going up and down as our rain and dry cycles change. To see it go from 4-foot deep water, just kind of ever expansive space full of water, to the springtime when it starts to get quite dry out here, and there's only certain routes we can even stay to because there's so much mud, and the wildlife starts to change because of that as well. Right. We go from more fish and frogs and turtles to lots of birds and snakes and things like that that are more terrestrial based or land based animals.
Yeah, we're midwinter right now,
so we're kind of like halfway through our dry cycle.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Great time to be out here.
It's my favorite time of year.
Yeah.
Definitely on the horizon in the next 5-10 years, we're going to see a lot more really cool things added to our park. We're talking possibly like things like zip lines and observation towers and things like that as well, so we can see out over the Everglades, not just from the ground level, but from the bird's eye view. Yeah,
because I mean, even just standing on an airboat, the amount that you can see around you is insane to me. Just goes to show you how flat it really is here in Florida.
It is relatively flat as you look.
Now I'm going to ask you a question that you've probably been asked quite a bit. What are our chances of seeing a gator out here?
I mean, it's always 50-50, no matter what. Because you might not.
Well, let's hope we do.
Yeah.
So what do you say we head around a little bit more, see if we can find one?
Absolutely.
All right, great.
Let's do it. Let's scrap it.
there you have it, the American dinosaur. I mean alligator, but alligators are dinosaurs, so stick with that too. On our way back to land, and we find this guy or gal just relaxing here. Seems like he's taking a nap or something, so don't want to bother him too much. We're gonna sit here and enjoy it, and we'll see you on land after this. This is a percussive therapy device. Well, actually, this specifically is a Theragun, and there are lots of other devices out there on the market that are similar to it, and most of them do the same thing, and that is break up lactic acid by basically pulverizing your muscle. Gently though. Here on SoFlo Health, we've used and seen Theraguns and percussive therapy devices all over the place. Trainers love them, therapists love them, chiropractors love them, and that's because they help you feel better and recover faster. And here I'd like to go over a few different ways I've learned to use this device and dismiss a few common misconceptions about them. The first tip that I'd like to share is that when you're using this device, you want it to be perpendicular to the muscle that you're affecting. A lot of people use them like this, with the edge running along the muscle. That's not really doing a whole lot for you. So what you want to do is be perpendicular. Notice how my entire forearm is vibrating and pretty wildly, kind of making little waves throughout it. That's what you want to happen. That's how you break up lactic acid buildup. The next part is the intensity. This is the lowest setting. Now, I can turn it up to the highest setting. And a lot of people think more is better. But when it comes to something like this, it's low and slow. The benefit to being able to use it on a lower setting is that you can then control how much of the effect that you're getting or how deep into your tissue that it's penetrating. There is a purpose for the higher settings as well. The more intense the therapy, the less pressure you have to apply to get deeper into your muscle tissue. You don't need to turn it all the way up and press into your arm or into your neck or into your quad unless you're trying to get deep into the muscle tissue and you have maybe dense muscles or you're a pro athlete. But chances are, if you're a pro athlete, that you already know how to use this and there's a professional using it on. But for us average folk, weekend warriors, and fitness enthusiasts, it's important for us to know the difference between soreness and bruising. You may have heard of the term DOMS. It stands for Delayed Onset Muscle Soreness, and it generally comes from novelty of movement. What does that mean? It means that you're pushing your muscles beyond the point of what they're used to operating at. We do that on purpose sometimes. We go to the gym and we make sure to make our muscles work just to the point where we feel a little bit of soreness or that we get a good pump and workout in so that we get the growth in the muscles that we're looking for. And we condition over time. However, I'm sure you've had the experience of doing a whole lot of yard work in one day and you haven't done yard work in a long time. And then the next day you're like, That's delayed onset muscle soreness. The novelty of movement, something you don't normally do, is now showing up. However, you can use a device like this to help prevent that. Bruising is a tender muscle that's most likely been injured in some way. You might see some discoloration on your skin and it will be painful to the touch. Soreness won't necessarily be painful to the touch, but it might be painful when you go to move that muscle and it feels really tight. You do not want to pulverize a bruise. It will not help it heal any faster. However, your recovery can be sped up from soreness by using a device like this. You use it before you work out, just a little bit, and the same thing after you work out. It's much like foam rolling, but a lot easier and it takes less time. You only need to use a percussive therapy device for a couple of minutes and really only 10 to 20 seconds on each muscle and give it a break. You don't have to sit there and do it forever. All you need to do is break up that lactic acid. One last tip that I'll share is that percussive therapy devices are also great for your nervous system and can actually help you relax at night. You want to go much slower and more relaxed if you're going to use it for that purpose. Use it on a low frequency, use it slowly, breathe, and stretch, and you will feel a whole lot more relaxed and it'll help improve your sleep as well. Just to recap, if you're going to use a percussive therapy device, go low and slow. Make sure that you're using it on a healthy muscle that's neutral or a sore muscle, not a bruised muscle. And if you want to use it for recovery and sleep, make sure you go slow, combine it with stretching and breathing. If you do that, you'll be in pretty good shape. Yeah, that's the stuff. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Franqui. We're back here with Tim at Sawgrass Recreation Park. We're out from the Everglades and into their enclosures, quite literally in an enclosure. Tim, what's going on here?
So one, I wanted to clear the air. Of course, the general public can't do this. This is special just for you guys.
We appreciate it.
However, as you can see here, we do have a setup where we can actually do demonstrations and talks and educational information about the alligator will be given.
Yeah.
If it's feeding day, they only eat once a week, but if it's feeding day, you may have the opportunity to see them actually being fed.
Wow.
But what we have here is our grandpa alligator. He's been with us since the kind of fruition of the beginning of the park, really. We estimate his age to be somewhere between 60 and 70 years old. His name is Cannibal.
It makes me feel good.
Yeah, well, I mean, we tried Fluffy, Tiny, he just didn't respond. Cannibal, it just, you know, he's a big, giant, scary looking alligator.
Yeah. How big
Realistically, he's a puppy dog. He's 13 foot from tip of his nose to the tip of his tail.
Wow.
And he weighs approximately, as we don't have a scale large enough, but he weighs approximately about 800 pounds.
Wow.
In the winter time, he'll drop down to about 650, 700, as they don't really eat much when it cools down.
And what else can people see at this part of the park?
So we have a variety of reptiles that we've adopted and rescued over the years, and that continues. And as things start to get a little more normal, we're continually adopting and expanding and adding to the park.
Well, Tim, I gotta say, thank you so much for, first of all, getting us close to Cannibal here in a safe manner, and also taking us out today. It's been a wonderful time here.
My pleasure, man. Thank
We
you
appreciate
for coming out.
That's all we have for this week's episode of SoFlo Health. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Tim and everyone here at Sawgrass Recreation Park, and thank you, Cannibal. As always, you can catch previous episodes of SoFlo Health on SoFloHealth.com. You can follow us using @SoFloHealth to share with us what you're doing to stay healthy. And until next week, it's goodbye and good health. And let me get out of here safely.
Next week on SoFlo Health, we visit a meal prep facility, learn how to scale a squat to your skill level, and more. It's all next week on SoFlo Health, and we'll see you then.